New at 11 will explain who's getting what's in these boxes for Christmas. A sightseeing trip comes to a sudden end in the Hudson River. And we'll go fish with a man and his dog who really jumps into the activity.
Now, the #1 news in the Capital District. This is News Center 6, New at 11.
Good evening, everyone. We certainly hope you've enjoyed your Thanksgiving. New at 11 tonight with just less than an hour left of Thanksgiving 1996. Attention will quickly be turning towards the holiday shopping season. Many of us will undoubtedly head to the malls tomorrow, but tonight, Melissa Merritt shows us how Albany City Rescue Mission has gotten a head start on making sure this season is a happy one for everybody.
Being here is like being out, you know. You got a lot of people that try to help you out, and they do love you, you know.
Mike Steinbrenner was one of 650 people to eat Thanksgiving dinner at the Capital City Mission, and for him, the mission will be home for the holidays.
It's hard for me, but you know, I'm glad that there's something that I can come to, that they can help. You know, saying that they're putting their extended hand to help you out.
And he's not the only one who will need a helping hand this Christmas. More than 1,000 are expected at the mission, and that's why they're already getting a head start on collecting gifts for the needy. All of these boxes are filled with items donated by national companies.
Putting out a lot of, like, these are women's deodorants from this one happens to be from a cosmetics company. And people have been very generous, and we're expecting that we're going to be able to supply all that we need to supply out to the needy.
Everything from cosmetics to slippers, blankets and business suits, even some leftover shirts from the Olympics. The tall order of sorting will begin next week, and most of it will be gift wrapped. But although it looks like a lot, Perry Jones says your help is still needed.
At this point, we're still looking for items for men, especially men's hats and gloves, and hygiene products for people like toothpaste, paste, and toothbrushes, and any food items for the holidays would be appreciated.
And of course, if you have a knack for gift wrapping, any help in that category is welcome too. In Albany, Melissa Merritt, News Center 6, New at 11.
Now, if you want to make a donation or volunteer some time at the Albany City Rescue Mission, you can give them a call at 462-0459. If they do get more items than they need, by the way, they will give the gifts to other organizations helping the needy. Well, now the cleanup begins for Equinox volunteers. Once again this year, thousands of volunteers helped cook and serve the annual Thanksgiving dinner in Albany. Volunteers also delivered some meals to homes of those in need. In all, over 5,000 meals were prepared. And if you'd still like to help out here, Equinox could sure use your help cleaning up. Just show up at the First Presbyterian Church at the corner of State and Willett between 9 and 6 o'clock tomorrow. A Montgomery County family comes home on this Thanksgiving to find their house on fire. Ed O'Brien has more from the SkyCenter. Ed?
Yeah, JoAnne, again, the good news is no one was home when this fire broke out in a trailer home in the town of Florida in Montgomery County. It happened at about 7:30 tonight, and firefighters say it was pretty much contained to one end of this home. Some damage inside, but firefighters tell us some things will be salvageable. The last time we checked, a fire investigation team had just arrived on the scene, and they were still looking into the cause of the blaze, which is, at this hour, still unknown. JoAnne?
At the latest theory on two men who disappeared in Saratoga County Sunday centers on a missing canoe. Corey Mullins of Saratoga Springs and Scott Souder of Verona were last seen Sunday night walking away from Mullins' home after an evening of drinking. Divers today searched the lake but came up empty. Evidence technicians are now looking at a canoe which washed ashore Monday morning near where the two men were seen last. At this point, though, there is no direct evidence linking the two men and the canoe. Alcohol is being blamed for another fatal car crash in our area. 20-year-old Jeremy Johnson of Middleburgh died after being thrown from the car he was riding in this morning on West Middleburgh Road. The driver, 18-year-old Alberto Felicia, has been charged with drunk driving. Police say Felicia was speeding, lost control, and slammed into a tree. A happy day for thousands of soldiers in Germany. A sightseeing plane goes down in the Hudson and strike up the band. It's all new at 11. A small sightseeing plane goes down in the cold waters of the Hudson River in New York City this afternoon. The plane went down so close to shore that 2 occupants got out of the plane and made it to the pier before the plane sank. They were then taken to the hospital but appeared in good condition. Joy and tears in Germany this holiday as U.S. Army troops returning from Bosnia see their families in Germany. Some 3 busloads of soldiers marched home to their base after spending a year in the Balkans as part of an international peacekeeping mission. Others will now take their place. A dark Thanksgiving for many in Spokane, Washington. Some 10,000 customers are still without electricity after a snowstorm knocked out the power earlier this week. High winds overnight hampered workers' efforts. Without any power, many families went to restaurants and relatives for Thanksgiving dinner. More than 2,800 children set a new record by playing in the world's largest orchestra in England. The huge ensemble played a composition entitled Let Music Live, written specially for the event. Children came from all over the United Kingdom to join the orchestra. They beat the previous record by some 800 people. And for the 70th time, Macy's parade stepped off to the streets of New York. Again with the help of some Capital Region teens. Hundreds of thousands jammed Manhattan streets to get a glimpse while millions more watched at home. 18 giant helium balloons drew the biggest cheers as they made their way along Central Park West and Broadway. The parade began in 1924 when immigrant workers eager to celebrate coming to America held a public festival to announce the coming of Christmas. Students from Ballston Spa High School and Schenectady's Oneida Middle School participated in the parade. Matt Fendley and Sean McGarry learned this summer they would work on Thanksgiving. The assignment, manning Boston Light on Brewster Island. Now, the 2 Coast Guard officers decided to make the best of it, so they prepared a Thanksgiving feast of sorts. Well, turkey sandwiches with all the fixins and side dishes. While they didn't quite enjoy a big feast, the 2 officers said making sandwiches meant neither one had to do any dishes. Smart, I guess. For those kids who complain they were bored this Thanksgiving, here's a reason to keep them quiet. Students in the small Pennsylvania town of Pittston spent their holiday at school. Due to a 31-day teacher strike, which delayed the start of the school year, over 3,300 students were expected at school this Thanksgiving. You might have guessed it, only half of them actually showed up.
It sucks. I don't like it because we shouldn't have to go to school on holidays. It's for family time only.
I was thinking about going to Ohio to see my parents for the holidays, but since, the kids already missed time out of school, I really feel that, they need to get back to school.
Students won't get any more days off except for Christmas and Memorial Day. No football games for them to watch on New Year's Day. Mixed emotions this holiday for parishioners at St. Casimir's Church in Amsterdam. The church is closing down because of a leaky roof that costs too much to fix at this point. So today, hundreds gathered to say their prayers that someday they may return to worship there again. One of those wishing for the best, Virginia Valaconis, whose grandparents helped build St. Casimir's over 90 years ago.
This is my church, our church, and all I want to say is that anyone within earshot, pray that we can keep this open. That's all I ask for, everybody's prayers.
We're thinking positive.
Do you think it will remain open?
Oh, I hope so.
Officials say it will cost nearly $200,000 to fix the roof, but they're hopeful they can get some donations, which will allow them to reopen the church. What kind of weather can you plan for over this holiday weekend? Your extended days off? We even have tomorrow off.
Yes, we do.
What a concept, huh?
Must have been an oversight.
I think so, yeah. The boss is on the phone.
That's right.
Anyways, let's check in on the forecast.
Cold weather, JoAnne, at least for the next day or so. Then I think things are going to moderate as we move into Saturday and Sunday. Of course, that moderation will come with a price. It looks like some stormy weather will move in by the end of the weekend rather than the first part of next week. We'll talk more about that a little later. Right now, though, temperatures are cold. Skies have kind of broken up a little bit in the Capital District. 16 degrees, so in fact, we're already 2 degrees below where I was forecasting our low temperature to be. So it's going to be cold tonight, although not as bad as last night. Temperatures tomorrow no better than about 32, which is a little warmer than today. We'll see some sun, some clouds, maybe a couple of flurries. Otherwise, a generally fair weather day, so I don't expect any weather problems to cause any trouble across the Capital District. A lot of traffic at the malls, but
yeah.
It won't be due to weather this time.
No, and that's fun, so you can handle it.
That's right.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Still ahead tonight, 2 very special stories about man's best friend, who in one case became a lifesaver.
Well, it's a small latch, but it's creating big problems on the space shuttle tonight. I'll tell you about that from the SkyCenter.
All this plus the pigskin in sports. Stick around. Much more to tell you about tonight, new at 11.
You're watching News Center 6, new at 11, with Jack Aernecke, JoAnne Purtan, meteorologist Steve LaPointe, and Ric Renner on sports.
I guess you could say it's a spacewalk that's hit a bump in the road. Let's go to Ed O'Brien in the SkyCenter. Ed?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Here's the problem. The astronauts on the shuttle, 2 of them are supposed to be right now taking a spacewalk and doing some experiments out in space. They have the suits on, they have depressurized the cabin area, but they can't get the door open. The latch is stuck. No door open, obviously no spacewalk. They're working on the problem. Assuming they can finally get this thing open, they'll be outside for about 6.5 hours, and they'll do a number of things, including some testing on projects that would be used on a proposed international space station. So this could be an international embarrassment, JoAnne.
Ed, not so easy to just open the window, huh?
Afraid not.
Guess not. Thanks. A deaf mother from Washington State and her young daughter are enjoying the holiday and probably much more thanks to her dog. Yesterday afternoon, Tanya Brumlove put 3-year-old Alexander to sleep and then laid down for a nap herself. A short time later, her dog Ivan jumped onto her chest. Tanya woke up and saw the smoke everywhere. Ivan also had the little girl, the 3-year-old, by the sleeve. Both mother and daughter made it out okay. There's no doubt to the family Ivan is a hero.
Ivan saved our lives last night.
You hear stories about people's dogs or family pets, you know, rescuing the family, and it doesn't really sink in until it's one of your own.
Tanya says she'll be rewarding Ivan with not biscuits, but some steak for a while. They had a fire detector, by the way, but even if it went off, Tanya would not have been able to hear it. Well, you've seen the signs. A bad day fishing beats any day at work. Well, tonight, Richard Moore introduces us to one fisherman who enjoys a day angling with man's best friend.
Bill Darling and his chocolate lab bear are inseparable fishing companions.
He's about the best there is. You don't ever hear any complaints from him.
Bear patiently watches Bill reel in, and then he surveys the cast with a practiced eye, hoping this time it will bring a fish.
Yeah, Bear, we got a fish.
As Bill battles the black drum, Bear comes to attention, muscles a quiver and poised to retrieve. And finally, he just can't resist and leaps for the fish, but he misses and has to swim over and grab it. And then Bill helps him in the boat with their prize. After a good shake, he's back on point, but willing to take a break as Bill shares his live bait with the retriever.
If he learned how to open a bait box, I'd be in bad trouble. I talk to him a lot, and he listens. That's the main thing, is somebody to talk to. We've got a redfish.
Bear can hardly wait to dive in after the redfish, and now it's a perfectly timed leap, and he expertly snaps up the big red. Back in the boat he comes.
That's the way he's supposed to do it. But he helps you out, too. He retrieves your fish for you. And he puts pressure on you, keeps you fishing, too.
After a long day of fishing, Bear takes the fish out of the ice chest and delivers them to the cleaning table. And after the cleaning is done and Bill is ready for a little liquid refreshment, who better to deliver his brew than Bear? And I doubt there's a finer fishing team on the bay than these two friends. Richard Moore in Fort Mansfield.
Still ahead tonight, one area team is now headed to the Dome. We'll tag along with Waterville Elite as they head to the state championship next. And with a holiday weekend upon us, what kind of weather can we expect? Steve's next with your forecast.
News Center 6 weather is sponsored by Raymore and Flanagan.
And now, here's your News Center 6 Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Steve LaPointe.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to New at 11 on a cold night. Skies have cleared a little bit over the Hudson Valley, and that has allowed temperatures to really drop. 16 degrees. That's the temperature we were at this time last night. And remember, last night we got down to 7. I don't think it's going to be that cold tonight. More clouds across the west will tend to roll in. We may see these temperatures come up a little bit. In fact, it's still in the mid-upper 20s off to the west, so that may be a little bit more characteristic of temperatures a little bit later on tonight. Had some flurries and snow showers, most leaving just a coating of snow, and most of it is over. Another little band, though, coming coming out of the Adirondacks, Mohawk Valley. This is sliding to the east-southeast, so there may be a few more flurries over the next several hours passing through the Capital District and into western New England, but like before, a very minor accumulation, if anything at all, with the snow flurries. It's all in response to an upper-level storm system which came through the northeast. The upper-level system fairly potent, but no moisture to speak of for it to work with, so that's why we only had the very light stuff. And here's that clearing slot up and down the Hudson Valley, but more clouds back in here again may have a tendency to build in overnight tonight, prevent temperatures from falling off into the single numbers. Skies do break further west out over the Ohio Valley, and we may get some of that sunshine in here during the day tomorrow, but it's a little bit warmer out in here, and as that warm air starts to advance our way, we'll likely see the clouds tending to build up a little bit during the afternoon. So on average, kind of a mix of clouds and sun and maybe a flurry or two, but overall expecting a fair weather day. Warmest weather back in here, and this is starting to flood northward. In fact, there's a lot of moisture. Two storm centers to talk about, one on the Texas coast and a fairly potent storm, which doesn't have any moisture at the moment, out over portions of California and Nevada. These two will link up over the next couple of days and rapidly move eastward. The Gulf of Mexico will open up. It's going to be a big rainmaker for a good part of the country, including the northeast. And best timing now looks like Saturday night, Sunday into Monday for us. Strong southerly flow, though, will ensure that this is going to be a rainstorm and not a snowstorm. But for tomorrow and for Saturday, generally fair weather. We will have some clouds, maybe a flurry or two. Still cold tomorrow, but temperatures should start coming up by Saturday. Back with the complete forecast for you right after the break. Here's my forecast now for the rest of tonight. Variably cloudy skies, a few more flurries rolling through, about 15 degrees, the anticipated overnight low. For tomorrow, temperatures up around 32, so it will be a warmer day than it was today. Some sunshine, although still cold for this time of the year, and just a chance there'll be a couple of flurries around, but essentially a pretty nice day. Saturday, too, fading sunshine. It should be dry, upper 30s, may get into the low 40s if we can hold on to the sun for several hours during the afternoon, but I think the rain moves in Sunday night or Saturday night into Sunday, continues into Monday. Temperatures in the 40s, then it cools off as the storm pulls away for Tuesday. So a wet weather maker, not a white weather maker. Ed?
All right, thanks, Steve. Here's your fast-forward look ahead to tomorrow now. Friday morning's newspapers. First in the Record, more troubles now for the Cohoes Police Department. You remember the story about 5 on-duty working police officers who went over to the house of an off-duty cop to watch the Tyson Holyfield fight. Well, now the Record says the local cable company and the city are looking into whether the cable hookup at the off-duty cop's house was legal. The new Public Safety Commissioner, Jim Tuffy, is among those looking into those allegations. In the Gazette, Thanksgiving takeout. They will look at the growing trend of holiday revelers who get takeout dinners instead of cooking the big bird at home. No scheduled traffic trouble spots tomorrow, but we're sure some will pop up in the course of the morning, and we'll have those for you. We update traffic and weather together on First News this morning, and we'll see you live at 6 a.m. JoAnne?
Thanks, Ed. Let's take a look now at tonight's winning lottery numbers on this Thanksgiving. The daily 861, the win 47504. Up next in sports, holiday hoop in Alaska. It's the rematch of the national championship. Who wins this time? Plus a super send-off in Waterville as the Cannoneers gun for the state championship of high school football. Ric Renner is next.
Holiday hoop in Alaska. The Syracuse University Orangemen are saying, hey, a Thanksgiving thanks for drawing Kentucky in Game 1 of the Great Alaska Shootout tonight. A rematch of last year's national championship. Let's go to the Wild Wild Northwest. Todd Bergen played despite the possibility of a suspension for breaking a team code of ethics. And you know what? The Orange may have broken all the team rules tonight with their play. Kentucky's three-pointers killed SU. This one was over in the opening minutes. Rematch, more like a rerun. Kentucky wins it by 34 points. Ouch. Hundreds and hundreds of Nutty Water Elite fans sent their state championship-bound Cannoneers out of a cannon to Syracuse. The Mighty V's play Class C Power Leroy tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in the Carrier Dome. Our News Center 6 cameras will be there as they are all year with a siren send-off tonight in Wawa Elite, complete with a police escort.
I was quite surprised coming up here. I didn't expect to see all these people here, but they're wonderful, and they deserve to win it just as us.
The whole team's grateful that we could share it with the community, and we're hopefully going to bring a state title back for them. And I guess it's just Waterville's just one big family because we're such a small town.
It's probably the most exciting thing as a coach I've ever experienced, and these kids, this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of dream to be playing for the state championship.
Nobody has more heart than us, yeah. So we play a perfect game, mistake-free football. Nobody could beat us.
E.G. Keene Hey, just when you thought the Dallas Cowboys were left for turkey meat, they cranberry a first-place team. Classic defensive battle between the Redskins and the Super Bowl chumps. Let's go to Big D. Emmitt Smith, benched a week ago against the New York Giants, enjoyed the gravy today. 155 yards and a whopping 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys make a huge statement, win it 21-10. And with that, both teams are now in first place at 8-5. The Giants suddenly back in the playoff picture 2 games back. And Emmitt Smith talks about the warm reception he gets from the fans, yet the cold one from the media.
Hear all the negative stuff, and people talk about I'm on the backside of my career. I mean, it was an insult. It really was an insult to me, and it cut deep. It really did. There's going to be days when you're injured, and people don't really realize how badly you really are injured, but you're still playing in the game, and sometimes it goes unnoticed.
Chiefs and Lions, big day for that man, Marcus Allen. He scores 2 touchdowns today, and he breaks Walter Payton's all-time career touchdown mark of 110. Allen's got so many game balls, he could start his own league, the new AFL, the Allen Football League. Hey, watch this wacky play of the day. Rich Gannon gets stuffed. It's scrambled eggs. I got it, you got it, and read between the Detroit Lions. They tie it. Then the catch. Watch this. Cannon, yes, lays one over the middle for Chris Penn, who takes the punishment, and Penn makes KC in like Flynn. And the Chiefs win it 28-24 to go to 9-4. Lions playoff putty at 5-8. They're asking for Wayne Fonz's head in Motown, and the quarterback wouldn't mind either.
You know, all the year long, we're just trying to do so many different things, and we just can't seem to settle on one thing. There's no consistency here. I said this the second week of the season, and nothing's been done. And we think we knew what the problem was, and we talked about it, and nothing changed. It's hard because I get blamed for everything. Everybody else around here has to be accountable, and that has not happened.
Mitch, what do you really think? All right, you know, it will be a Big East feast in Syracuse Saturday in between all that state championship football stuff. The number 16 Orange against 23rd-ranked Miami. Canes have always had the Cuse's number, but SU comes in winning 8 straight.
That's always a big game. Every year is a big game. You got a guy like Donovan McNabb, you know, a good quarterback like that. We just got to contain him and play assignment football. And DBs, we got to play pass and let the big guys play the run. And then we just come out with a victory, hopefully.
It'll be the biggest challenge of the year without question.
Hey, back to your Prep Pig preview. The Troy boys took the day off, of course, to pose for trophies and stuff. As they prepare for their Sunday state championship showdown, Troy was expected to be there, and guess what? They are.
The only people that can beat ourselves is us. That's it. And we feel that if we make minimum mistakes and everything, we got a strong chance of winning.
My last year, I want to go out with another win. You know, carry on is something I've been looking for ever since I started playing football here at Troy High.
It's a real tight group. They've been playing together for a number of years, and you know, they're friends, some family, and I think we've kind of grown together as a football family, and that's been a big part of what we've done together.
Now the Troy boys will go to battle 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. We'll be there live via satellite all day. Early game at noon, Rumble and Ravenna. The funky cold Ravenna will go for it all in the battle of the unbeatens. And from the wacky file, I don't know about you, but when I see yellow snow, I wonder if a dog or maybe Steve LaPointe's close by. Well, have no fear. The pack is here on this Green Bay Packers fan estate. You know, I'm thinking, what a bunch of snowflakes. That's sports. Back to you.
Steve wants to talk to you in the weather office, Rick.